What's up, everybody? Matt Nuzzo here with Reel to talk to you about mid-length wingboards. So mid-length madness. Everyone's like, mid-length, I gotta get a mid-length. So we want to explain to you where mid-length boards came from and then tell you why they're relevant for wingboards or wing foil boards. So mid-length comes from surfing, and a mid-length is simply a long board, short board, mid-length's right in the middle. And the reason you're getting mid-length, there's a huge variety. A lot of people are stepping down from a longboard, or they're stepping up from a shortboard for bigger waves, smaller waves, a variety of conditions. And in mid-lengths, the category surfboards, there's a huge design. Some are really thinned out and gunned out, made for bigger waves. Some are really kind of a lot fuller nose, fuller volume, easier to make them ride in smaller waves. Just like that, in the wingboards we have here represented, there's going to be quite a big difference in all of them. So to start out here with the KT Ginsu Super K. So Super K has been a really popular board for us. Very interesting board. It is a dedicated wingboard. Some people can use it for prone. Some people can use it for downwinding. You know, if you're really advanced downwinder, you can go onto one of these things. They do have a variety of sizes. This is a 60 liter. They go up to 104 liter. We found that this board fits best for someone that wants to have doesn't want to have a downwind board for light wind, but someone wants to have like a lower volume board than a downwind board that's also a lot more compact, that excels in light wind. And you see they took a lot of the technology, that nose, from their Ginsu Dragonfly, which is amazing for downwinding, and this just greases off the water, just kind of pushes through the water. The displacement hole just takes right off the water. They do have the step, and they do have that kind of flatter back with the chine rails. It comes from a rounded rail into a chine rail, and we found that this board works really well for riding in light wind. And then a lot of people are going into this board and being like, whoa, this thing actually is kind of using this all the time. Hey, it turns really well because it's narrower. And they're actually riding this board once you get it as your full-time board. And you can get this as your first board because they have a 104 liter, but you'll want to have taken some lessons so you kind of progress through that big kind of 150 liter beginner drifter style board to get down to one of these boards here. Really, it's best for kind of an intermediate rider, adding as an additional board to the lineup. Just know that once you get this in the lineup, you're going to ride that kind of full time. Okay, next board in the lineup here, we're going to go over to the F1. With this F1 mid-length, this has been, probably the best beginner-friendly oriented mid-length board. Why? Because they go up to 120 liters that are very stable. Based on the design, nice flat deck here, really squared off rails, which get a good flat section in the bottom, which gives you a lot of promise and stability for the board in that size. This is the 90 liter here. We actually found that this 90 liter was a lot more stable than expected and a lot more performance oriented than expected as well. Because of narrow size, it does go rail to rail really quickly. It is a little on the thicker side compared to some of the other ones, but that thickness you kind of, which desensitizes the board, you gain back the sensitivity of the board by having a narrower shape. That being said, we found that F1 per volume, per stability is probably your best bet in max stability for the volume. Also, you can use this with foil drive. They make a 3D printed shim that you can basically get you can get the 3D printer off of their website, and then you can just put the shim on there, put the foil drive right on top, so it does come over that rise, which for foil drive, this board has been really nice. Again, same thing, you kind of have that ease and glide of takeoff, but also lots of rail-to-rail stability and when you're on the water, and then when you're in the air, it does turn pretty quickly because it goes rail-to-rail. So this does work for prone, but it's not quite as good as, say, the Armstrong or the Apple Tree. But for kind of max stability all around winging, like this F1, been really psyched on it, been super awesome. Next on the lineup here, we're going to the Armstrong Midlength. They have a huge range in sizes from the 30s all the way up to the 100s. And this board has been a true crossover. So a lot of people are getting this for that they want to have a board that they can prone and they get into small waves with, and then they also want to have a board of which they can go out and wing. We're finding that with this board, as you're getting sizing down, they are getting pretty narrow, so they go rail to rail really quickly, and we're finding, hey, in waves they kind of have a little more drawn out turn and more control, but it does roll over pretty quickly. And then if you're kind of up on the top of the wave or down the bottom, it's not hitting down because they've got to really kind of find out. They took that from the downwind board, but that works really well on waves. So this is a 75 liter. Armstrong construction's incredible, dual carbon stringers, high-end carbonate and Negra construction, does have inserts, does have an amazing deck pad, does come with a board bag as well. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with this mid-length, and just a super, super high quality board that covers a lot of range. Again, a lot of people that are going to these mid-length boards are like, I got it because I was kind of curious about it, and now that's all I ride. I don't ride my standard board anymore. When I go to like say the mid-length versus the FG, I find the FG just has that really stable platform, super fun, very kind of controlled through all experiences. This is going to be a little quicker rail to rail, going to take off a little easier, and that's what people get addicted to, is that light wind, ease of takeoff that you're getting here. Okay, and then finally here we have kind of the most advanced shape. This is going to be definitely for intermediate or better in the riding. The main reason for that is that the sizing, this is a 57 liter here. Sizing, they're not going up very big, and they're really a lot thinner and designed for more advanced riders. Does work for foil drive, does work for light wind winging, does work for prone. So this apple tree is going to have that really kind of like rounded out rail, softer rail. It has a V in the front that, you know, brings in a lot of the shape and design of kind of the Pro V, of the Slice V3, a lot of the shapes that kind of morphed into this and just stretched it out. It does have a really big flat deck for the size of the board, so you have kind of a decent dance floor to switch your feet. Does not have inserts, which, you know, all the other ones do have inserts. Most people that are riding this are riding strapless or using it as their kind of crossover do everything board. So this is going to be your most advanced because it's thinnest. So the thinner the board, the more control you're going to get, more kind of rail to rail performance and feel you're going to get. And so if you have kind of an intermediate or better rider that's looking for that all around crossover board, this Slice is going to do it well. So if you have more questions, you can reach out online. Finding out which one is right for you, let's stay put there. Finding out which one was right for you is going to be important to talk to someone to make sure that we're hitting the specs of what is best you're doing. So when you're thinking about a mid-length board, do you want it for winging? Do you want it for foil drive? Do you want it for downwind, sub? What are you trying to do with this board? And then we can kind of target it to do that. Give us a call to shop. We can help you with those decisions, 252-987-6000, or reach out online, realwatersports.com, and we'll see you guys on the water for the next session.